Oh, it's you. Just a minute.
Why the chain?
Come on in. I'm afraid we're in a bit of a state tonight, but I'm glad you've come. We've been dying to know what's been happening to you, and now we're in this mess.
Why have you been shoved down here? Evacuees?
No. They requisitioned the place just because I wouldn't join what's the name of that organization, the one that sounds like a laxative, Instant Action. So they pinched the rest of the house and shoved the block leader upstairs. Would you mind?
Oh, I've seen him.
He's awfully nice, really. He comes in every Thursdays for little chats about everything except politics. It's rather like having a favorite uncle for prison warder. But I wish I'd stood a bit firmer.
What do you mean?
Well, you know, I wish I'd done something positive. I wouldn't have minded losing the house. But just to say no to a bloody official. A few years ago, Helen and I were all set to go underground. But Sarah stopped that. Hardly risk her. Since then, we've done nothing. Just a moment. Come in. When you're ready, Pauline's here. Until now, that is.
Until now what?
Yeah. Sleep well.
Pauline, am I glad to see you.
Good night, then.
With all your experience, you ought to be a lot of help. I suppose Dick's told you.
No, not yet.
Well, let me take your coat off and we'll tell you all about it. You look as if you were just about to leave us.
Yes, what is all this mystery about?
That's what they told me. They told me all doctors had to join. Do you seriously believe that all hospitals, all surgeries throughout England start by that gang of pseudo-medical stormtroopers? Oh, come on. There's more to it than that. What made you, the liberal, independent Pauline, become one of them?
Oh, for heaven's sake, Dick, stop calling me a fascist. I know as much about politics as a lamppost. My point is, we've fought a war and we've lost it. There's been a terrible lot of suffering on both sides, so why prolong that suffering? The only way to get back to normal is to support law and order, whatever little law and order we've got. And that's what I'm doing. And I'm not ashamed of it.
Get back to our £5 a week or fund and to hell with the war, is that it?
I didn't say that.
But you think this struggling for freedom business is a waste of time?
I didn't, until I became involved in it. But now I know from personal experience it's a most terrible waste.
Funny. We used to agree about these things. I suppose we've just changed. Not surprising after all that's happened. There's one thing about my philosophy that I think. For me, the most important thing you've got is your own individual.
I agree with that. That's not coming on to mine.
Okay, join the fascists and you sign it away. It's the one thing that is most important to do it right now. The fascists is either a pinhead or if he's got a brain, it's twisted. He won't allow that no two people are alike. He wants them all the same. It's simpler. So that he can pigeonhole them into groups, into organizations or races or countries. I hate all Jews, he'll say, and Bangor about 80 million people. The vast majority of them can't possibly have met, but he likes it that way. It's convenient and it soothes any remnants of conscience. Put in a word that goes something like this. Here are a lot of people, all in nice straight lines, all dressed the same, all jumping up and down to one person's orders. Splendid. We know what they are and why they're doing it. And there is a rabble, all dressed differently, all behaving differently. No order, no discipline. Well, the mind can't keep up with them all. So, all right, eliminate them.
Haven't you any more?
No, Dick's used up all his ration. He's got to wait till Tuesday for some more.
Do you realize the penalty for harboring partisans?
Polly, you won't.
Do you realize the penalty? Do you realize the mess you've got yourself into? Oh, God, now I can see why you were in such a state tonight.
No one will know if you don't tell them.
For God's sake, hand this man over to the police. He's going to die in any case, and why should he bleed you to death as he does so? You're only doing it because you feel guilty that you haven't done anything all these years. And Dick, think of Sarah and Helen.
You astound me. Do you really think that I'd hand over a man in that state after all he's done for his beliefs?
Oh, don't whitewash those murderers to me.
You call them murderers?
Look, I don't give a damn what you say about the fascists, but don't try and whitewash those partisans. They killed 6 of my closest friends, and they very nearly killed me in a few seconds. Yes, I do call them murderers, and I ought to know. I'm sorry. I suppose you're doing what you think is right.
When you get two sides fighting a battle, you don't agree with either. Life does get a bit complicated.
How do you mean?
I mean, I don't agree with their methods, either of them. But their aims are different. That's what's important.
Well, the partisans hate the fascists, just as the fascists hate the Jews. There's nothing to choose between them.
The appalling thing about fascism is that you've got to use fascist methods to get rid of it. We've all got a bit of it in us. And it doesn't take much to bring it to the surface. It stays with us. Probably always will.
Well, hadn't we better make the most of it now that we're stuck with it?
Oh, good God, no. You don't get the point. We're stuck with disease. But we don't sit back and accept it. We fight it. And we've got to fight fascism because it's a disease of the mind. And when you fight a disease, you often use its own germ for inoculation. Do you see?
Well, I won't hang around. I'll be here tomorrow with some morphine.
You haven't had a thing to eat.
Don't worry. There's a rally tomorrow we're all forced to attend. I'll try and get here before it starts, but it may be a bit tricky.
Well, all I can say is I'm terribly grateful. So long. Good night.
Excuse me. Is the doctor ill?
My visit was social rather than professional.
I thought I heard... Oh, never mind. Good night.
Good night.